Welcome back to Roast Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be giving a quick update on BOXL, Boxlight Corporations. So first I'm going to be doing a quick technical analysis through the 1 day intervals, and then I'm going to go through 1 hour interval, and then I'm going to move on to the company's news and kind of presentation as well. I'll try to get any bit of more financials I can get on this company and the current kind of catalysts coming up. So 1 day intervals here quickly. We're going to be looking at average directional index. It shows that it's currently at a good strength of 48.95, although getting a little bit too high. I usually don't keep anything above 50 average directional index, although my sweet spot is between 25 and 45. William percent R seems to be a little bit over the overbought section here, so that's not very comforting here in terms of getting perhaps a pullback or whatnot. In terms of momentum, the stock seems to have decent momentum at the current time being. The MACD looks like it's actually maintaining quite a good positive growth all the way since the 18th, and has been maintaining that level. The MACD is above the signal line, which looks amazing. It seems that the stock is moving with lower volume, but still decent volume, that it actually sees a positive movement. The unbalanced volume is somewhat at an all-time high at the moment. Going in towards the averages right now, you get to see the 10 SMAs above the 30 MA, which is amazing news. Although the price is under the 200 SMA, but above the 50 SMA, so that kind of cancels them out. 5 days, 1 hour interval, you get to see that the 200 SMA and the 50 SMA are under the price. The current stock price is above the VWAP, and you get to see that it was actually going for a negative MACD, where it kind of received a little bit of a reversal in the last hour. Although I would be a little bit concerned on that reversal, just because after hours volumes can really move price with very little volume, or you can actually gap it up very easily. So you get to see the million percent R. It's actually highly overbought at this moment. You get to see the average directional index is though better than what it was on the 1 day interval, and you get to see the momentum is quite high. Now my only concern on this one here is the previous movements. I'll show it to you in another chart. So going quickly here, you get to see that the moving average of this stock here in the cyan and the purple, the stock is trading currently above that, so we might actually see something where it dips down to the top half like it did before. So the kind of price we're looking at here could be something where the same action happened over here. So let's try to quickly look into the 1 hour interval. You get to see in the 1 hour interval that it has gapped up quite a little previously before it kind of seen a pullback during the day. So at around $1.22, the price might be actually amazing to consider selling at this point. And I'll definitely, if I was going to buy it in the morning on Monday, I'll definitely alert it on Twitter. But it seems to be that the stock has good opportunities based on the presentation I'm about to show you. But before doing so, let me just go quickly and do Fibonacci retracements, try to identify where the supports and resistances are, and we'll move from there. So you get to see that there is a current support somewhere around the dollar range. A little bit above the $1.01 is the Fibonacci retracement. So around the dollar, I would say that's where your support. That's the second support. The first support is sitting right now at $1.10, which is the current price is above it, and it broke that resistance. And then the one after that, I would say, is somewhere around 0.94. So there is a little bit of drop down that it can actually go down to, I would say, around 9% in the next support. And then the one after that would be somewhere around 18%. But in terms of resistances, we'll have to look a little bit closer into the 3 months 1 day. You get to see that it's 202. Try to be able to get something where a little bit better. Okay. So I would say somewhere around $1.20 seems to have been the resistance, and it kind of broke that. I would say around $1.25 seems to be the next one. It's a little bit harder when it kind of is at a resistance, which just turned to support to identify exactly what the current next placements are. So moving on to the presentation right now. So first things first, I want to highlight something that was actually mentioned in the last conference. So this is why this could be actually a COVID play. So hold on here. Yep. So John Noble asked, I just wanted to know, I know you were speaking about, in light of all schools closure, going to online learning, you're just looking to really boost software in this area, blah, 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 blah. And basically what they're actually trying to say there was whether they're going to go and approach the online market for education. The answer was yes. So we offer free resources, absolutely, to get school districts and principals, educators in the door and give them some initial training, right? And some initial content. But the goal would be to convert those to longer term high values, high margin professionals, developments, and customers. So that's what the plan is. Should say it's twofold. It wasn't the only plan, right? So one plan was, hey, we really wanted to get back to education communities, so we provide the campaign for that. But secondly, yes, we want to convert those into revenue-paying district schools. So basically what they're trying to say here is that they currently don't have a full kind of software that they're working on, but they are developing something for it. So from my understanding is that this company is basically leading into educational and classroom solutions for technology, and that could also extend towards remote learning or somehow of a blended form. So this is also based on a lot of legislations. So I'm trying to go into here into the U.S. Department of Education. I wasn't able to find some of the latest news. Seems to be like lately it's been more of a state versus federal thing, and the kind of consensus is even if you go back to in person, a lot of the states are gonna more go on for a blended version. So this is be useful either ways for this company. That's just my opinion on that. Now, going in a little bit of an overview in terms of different things we're looking at. So first I'm going to go on to this paper here in terms of new appointments for a new board member. That was on July 7th. So that shows in a little bit of room for growth for me. Moving on towards the presentation. We're just going to quickly go on to here. I'm not sure if this was actually supposed to say ended March 31st, 2019 or 2020. So I'm going to skip through that just because this was actually on May 2020. It would make sense if they mentioned the 2020 version and not March 2019 and December 2019. So I'm going to omit that from here. But quickly here you get to see that they do have a plan for global expansions and they have Boxlight times. So the EOS education, that would be where it actually probably fit best into remote education. I'm not going to go through the details on it, but that's basically, from my opinion, is the one where it falls best. Going in a little bit towards the presentation, you get to see that they're more about blended technology environments rather than just remote environments, although I do see a future for this. Post-COVID as well. Bunch of awards over here, so that always looks good. In terms of coming in towards growth and revenue, you get to see that they have been quite consistent, just omitting the 2018 phase, but in terms of gross profit, you get to see that they have been consistent in terms of growth. So, taking a quick look now to a bit of different competitors, but just before then, this was more of a kind of an article into the New York Times, and it basically just says in terms of the sentiment for online learning or blended, and it seems to be a little bit into a lot of favors in terms of different states. So interesting read if you would like to get into a little bit of details. One of the competitors here that seems to be actually full-on ready for this is WizIQ. Now, I don't think they're a public company. They're not a public company, but what I'm trying to say is that there are other also opportunities out there. So it's not the one single company that if we actually go to online learning, the entire kind of business would go to them. So you just want to be a little bit careful and try to see whether there's a pullback of the day you want to get off onto and not kind of fall into the pump and dump kind of situation. That's been my thoughts about this company. What do you think about this? Make sure you mention it down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day.